Good morning, South Africa, and welcome to a new week. It's raining and overcast here in Johannesburg, which I want to tell you I'm not completely upset and sad about. But having said that, once again, I'm a little bit perplexed and shocked. The Bible tells us that perfect love drives out fear. But as a human being, it's very difficult to see what is going on in the world and not battle with fear and anxiety and even in some cases depression, I've been working as a pastor running a drug rehabilitation center now. This year is 16 years. Actually, we're in our 17th year already. And in those 17 years, I managed to create a life for myself and my wife. And at the same time, I've created this life through attempting to save other people's lives and show them a way to a better life. And then I have to go on to media platforms and the news and all these holes of despair and depravity and start wondering, is the world going to change to such an extent that the future that I'd hoped to build for us by giving up drugs is really just not a reality, that at some point everything that we've worked towards, and I'm speaking now not just about myself but to all of you, is everything that we work towards in vain. I really feel like Solomon when he wrote in Ecclesiastes, there's nothing new under the sun, and what is the point of it all? I'm in that mind today. But and what has put me in that mindset today is, last week I did a video where I spoke openly to the president of this country, and a lot of people came on to the YouTube channel where I posted it, and the majority of people were very positive, but some people were, in this mindset that by me saying that I, in my estimation, believed that this was going to now change the president's mind. And I want to say that is not the reason that I did the video. The reason that I did the video is to give people courage to speak out primarily. And secondly, to make myself feel a little bit better that, at least I'm getting my voice heard and I'm putting my fears out there and I'm putting my opinions out there. And I find that there's thousands possibly of South Africans, maybe hundreds of thousands, I don't know. But there's thousands of South Africans who feel the same way that I do, that are just at a place where we don't know really which direction to turn into anymore. If we turn in that direction, it's wrong. If we turn in that direction, it's wrong. If we turn in that direction, it's wrong. If we turn around and go back, it's wrong. So you really, in a quandary as you don't know which direction you need to turn to, And also last week, I was super excited about this peace deal that was going down in Israel, Gaza. And lo and behold, what really upsets me about this entire thing is the complete brainwashing and blindness of humanity. It is actually quite frightening. So straight after the ceasefire was declared, this is documented fact, okay? Hamas started stealing the aid again, or at a higher level, shall I put it. They've been stealing the aid all along, but at a higher level, they started stealing the aid. Then there were certain clans and factions within Gaza that stood up against them and tried to get control of that aid themselves in order that they could help distribute it amongst their people in their particular areas. And then these gun battles broke out between Hamas and these clans. Then certain members of these clans were captured and then brought into the public streets and executed live on international TV. Okay? Last night we had a situation where once again rockets were fired by Hamas out of Gaza at Israeli troops that are busy withdrawing to the pre-designated line in terms of the peace deal. They were attacked and rocketed by Hamas. And this morning, Israel responds by sending jets back into Gaza and bombing certain parts of Rafah where these rockets came from. And the narrative now being spun is that it's Israel's fault. This is all Israel's fault, again. Now, I don't know, what your religion is, and I don't know what your political ideation is, but, I'm this guy, right? If I belong to Party X, okay, and I see that Party X is doing the wrong thing, then I'm going to call it out. I'm going to call it out because it's wrong. Not because I'm not going to remain silent, and I'm not going to cozy up to my party just because I'm loyal to my party. If they're wrong, they're wrong. And they must be called out for being wrong, because if they're wrong now, and we don't call them out now, the atrocities are going to be worse and worse and worse. Now, at the same time as this is happening, reports have come in that America is already landing troops in Israel. So I want to ask the people that support this movement, Hamas, okay, under the disguise of the pro-Palestine movement. If we already have American troops moving into Israel, and we have Hamas attacking Israeli soldiers in the middle of a ceasefire, what do you think the end result is going to be if you witness the damage that Israel already caused as a result of the October 7th attacks? Surely your logic would determine that the best thing for the civilian population, the people that are apparently, because there's a lot of speculation on that as well, that are apparently innocent in all of this, okay, should be forefront of your mind. And if putting down your weapons, and if establishing a peace deal, and if allowing the world to rebuild Gaza is at the forefront of your thinking, okay, why would you then now start attacking people? It's because you know that you're not thinking about the people. You are thinking about your own survival as a organization. In other words, you are still pushing an ideology. Now, we can translate that to here. We have a government currently that is clearly and has clearly got no interest in the welfare of the population. Their only wealth, the only thing that they've got in their mind is the welfare and the power that resides within their own ideology and party. We see in Johannesburg, it is so blatantly obvious that from the minute Helen Zille announced that she was going to run for mayor of Joburg, that all of a sudden the highways are being cleaned, the barriers are being replaced, the grass is being cut. Now, there's two reasons for that. Obviously, there's two reasons. The one is the G20, but the G20 is not being held anywhere near Joburg Central. From my understanding, the G20 is being held at a boutique hotel in Boksburg, which is 25 kilometers from Johannesburg and falls under Ekurhuleni. So I don't understand, the only reasonable explanation you could have is that these guys are so worried that Helen Zille is going to win the mayoral race that they've decided to pull their fingers out their backsides. I don't know where they all of a sudden got the money from, and I don't know where they all of a sudden got the wherewithal and the passion and the motivation to suddenly start cleaning up Joburg. And then not only cleaning it up, but publicizing it everywhere how they're cleaning it up. When for, at a bare minimum, 20 years, Joburg has just been declining steadily into the cesspool of decay. Now, 1 month later, after Auntie Helen decides she's running for mayor, now all of a sudden, Dada Marrero and Panyaza, Lucifi, all of a sudden have got fire in them to clean up Joburg. It's quite a coincidence. And I've put it all over my social media that Helen Zille isn't even yet mayor, and she's already improving the city. And then on a final note, this absolute farce and joke that is called the Ad Hoc Committee as well as the Madlanga Commission. Watching these clearly guilty individuals doing their absolute best to try and defer the guilt and not take responsibility for their actions, and sitting there with a facade of arrogance, believing that that facade of arrogance is going to carry them across the finish line. And people that are involved getting upset because the police are coming to their businesses and raiding their businesses when they know that they've been involved in organized crime already for years and years and years. When are the arrests going to happen? When are the prosecutions going to happen? This is what South Africans want to know. We're not interested in all the blah blah. We want to see action. And primarily at the top of the list of that action, I want to know the man who is implicated in all of it. There's two of them, the minister as well as the president. When are they going to be called to account and book and be arrested? You know? We see the president now obfuscating by suspending all kinds of people, but not the people who are directly implicated. South Africa, stop being brainwashed. Have a look at the realities and the truth of what is happening. And conspiracy theorists, please, stop it now. Okay, lekker. Cheers.